Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at a pretty wild theory. Could the movie The Matrix actually be like secretly coded using astrology, prophecies, even psychological stuff?
Exactly. We're diving into this analysis by Kadir Kubashik. He believes the screenplay is working on, well, multiple hidden levels.
And the really compelling part you mentioned is his claim about his own birth chart.
Yeah, that's the core of it. He found these direct links between the movie's characters and his chart. And he says he sees this pattern in other films too. It makes him wonder if there's, something more than just coincidence going on, like a collective unconscious thing, maybe.
So our mission today is to unpack the most striking parts of this analysis to really get what he's arguing about this film.
Let's jump in.
Okay, so Neo, Thomas Anderson. Kubashik links him to his sun in Libra, in the 8th house, right?
That's it. He sees Neo's whole double life, the regular program guy versus the hacker, as reflecting Libra's duality, and the 8th house themes of transformation and, well, hidden depths.
Right. The 8th house deals with big changes, secrets. That fits Neo's journey perfectly, doesn't it?
It really does, that awakening arc.
Okay, then Agent Smith. He's connected to Mars and Aries.
Mars and Aries, yeah. And in the 2nd house in Kubashik's chart.
So Aries gives him that warrior energy. Assertive, aggressive.
Definitely. And the 2nd house ties into security, stability, what we value. So Smith becomes this relentless protector of the system's order.
Protecting the Matrix's value system. Makes sense.
Then you've got Trinity. She's linked to Venus and Scorpio.
Venus and Scorpio. Kubashik thinks her loving side might hide something else, like betrayal.
That's his interpretation, yeah. Scorpio is known for its intensity, its hidden layers, so he reads her as potentially more complex, maybe even dangerous underneath.
Interesting. It suggests, looking beyond just the surface appearance.
And Cypher, another Mars connection, but this time Mars and Scorpio.
Okay, so what does that bring?
Well, think about Cypher. The hidden plans, the betrayal, the strong desires, maybe a weakness, even his deal with Smith. Kubashik sees all that reflecting Mars and Scorpio traits. Secretive, passionate, maybe manipulative.
It definitely offers a different lens for understanding why Cypher did what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Morpheus is fascinating. Uranus and Scorpio in the 9th house, that sounds significant.
Oh, absolutely. The 9th house is all about higher knowledge, philosophy, beliefs. And Uranus is the planet of revolution, freedom, sudden shifts in thinking.
So Morpheus, the guy always talking about waking up, finding the truth.
He perfectly embodies that 9th house search for meaning and the Uranian call for radical change. It's a really strong alignment in Kubashik's view.
He even pointed to specific moments with Trinity, right? Suggesting she might lead Neo towards danger, something about music cues.
Yeah, he gets quite specific looking at scenes like the nightclub one. He argues that some of Trinity's actions or advice, maybe unintentionally, put Neo in more danger. It complicates her role.
So not just the straightforward love interest.
Not in this reading, no.
And going back to Cypher for a second, that Mars and Scorpio again, Kubashik connects it to his weaknesses, his spying, the whole betrayal plot. It highlights that intense, kind of hidden strategic side.
It's another case where the astrological archetype seems to map surprisingly well onto the character's actions, doesn't it?
It really does. What about the prophecy aspect? The film came out in '99.
Right. And Kubashik points out how much the Matrix seemed to predict, or at least foreshadow. Think about AI, the dystopian feel. This was before the internet was everywhere, before smartphones really took off.
That Nokia phone scene?
Yeah.
He sees that as a symbol.
Yeah, like the falling phone, the discarded tech. He suggests it kind of foreshadowed our current obsession with mobile devices, how central they've become. Pretty insightful for '99.
Makes you wonder.
It really does. Did they just tap into something subconsciously?
And finally, there's a really provocative idea about Neo's death, or first death, I guess.
Yes. This gets into physiology. Kubashik argues that when Trinity tells Neo to run, not fight, Agent Smith, Neo's physical response adrenaline, heart rate, actually contributes to his death.
So like her suggestion biologically weakened him in that moment.
That's the claim. That her guidance, meant to save him perhaps, actually accelerated his demise by triggering a specific physiological state. It suggests a really deep, almost manipulative level of interaction.
Wow. Okay, so summing this all up, Kubashik's main point is that The Matrix is way more than just a sci-fi movie.
Exactly. He sees it as this incredibly layered work, maybe even consciously coded by perhaps more than just the two Wachowskis. A kind of collective effort, maybe?
with astrological blueprints, accurate prophecies,
Yeah.
and he feels the connections to his own birth chart are strong evidence for some kind of higher intelligence or consciousness involved in its creation.
It's definitely a departure from standard film analysis. He views it almost as a modern myth, delivered from a consciousness maybe beyond our usual understanding.
So it leaves us, and you listening, with a pretty big question, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If you start considering these kinds of connections between astrology, film narrative, technology predictions, what other hidden patterns or frameworks might be operating, beneath the surface of the media we consume, or even in the world itself?
Something to think about, definitely. What else are we missing?